So estate planning isn't just for the wealthy people or the older adults. It's a comprehensive process that ensures you leave the legacy you want and make things easier for the loved ones you'll leave behind. Now joining me is Kevin Komar with Co-Advisors in Independence, Ohio. Kevin, thanks for joining us. First, explain the difference between a will and a trust.
Yeah, the biggest difference between a will and a trust is what we consider assets passing through probate. So a lot of times people think that a will covers all the bases, but it really doesn't. A trust is something that will give you ultimate control and allow you to pass the assets or accounts that you have that don't naturally have beneficiaries attached to them right to the people that you want them to go to. If it's something that is left in a will and it does go through probate, it's something that's going to take a long time to go through the court system. Instead of you deciding who gets the assets, it now might be up to the court to decide who gets those. And on top of that, there's a cost involved with the probate court. So one of the biggest hurdles that we have, or objections that we have to people doing trusts, is they think it costs too much money, but I've worked with enough lawyers to know that they will say that the cost that they charge to draw up a trust is oftentimes a lot cheaper than the costs that your loved ones will pay when dealing with the probate court.
So again, isn't estate planning just for the wealthy?
Yeah, estate planning is something that is not just for wealthy people. And in fact, personally, it was something as a financial planner that I got done right when I got married, even before kids. But I wasn't wealthy at the time, but there are general documents that you want to have in place, not only just the trust, but your powers of attorney and medical and financial, and your healthcare proxies. So these are things that I remember being, I have 4 kids, and being in the delivery room, the nurses laughed at me because I actually brought those paperwork with me. And if something were to happen, as a husband, I didn't have the authority just to say, I'm a husband, I give you permission to do this to my wife. I actually had to have the legal paperwork done. So those are things that are done through, generally when you get a trust drawn up, they'll include the proper directives and other paperwork that you'll need that gives you ultimate flexibility that doesn't necessarily only apply to the rich people.
So what about powers of attorney and medical directives?
Yeah, so a power of attorney, think about it. A common one is maybe you have a elderly parent that may not be functioning as well, or God forbid they get in an accident and can't act on their accounts. So me as an advisor, I have to take the directions from the account owner specifically. But if there is a power of attorney involved, that allows me to take directions from whether it be whoever they name the power of attorney, typically a family member or a loved one, but that at the time of need, when you need to access the account, the last thing I want to do is tell a client, sorry, I can't do this because you don't have the authority on this account.
So when it comes to estate planning and good estate planning, what's the first step?
The first step, I would say, would be contacting a lawyer, maybe, but maybe contacting somebody that you know that has had an estate plan drawn up. Ask them what their process was and if they're happy with it and what they understand, or what their knowledge of the situation was. You want to work with the right people, because having the estate plan created is one thing, but actually putting it into place is another. So I'll give the example, if you have a trust drawn up, but you don't actually fund it or follow through with updating your beneficiaries, or maybe a lot of times a house will go into the trust. If you don't update that, you basically just have a very expensive paperweight that is in the form of a trust that's in a binder on your desk. So knowing that you have a good experience with somebody that's already gone through this process, that they've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, and making sure that they followed all the right steps, that's a good first step to make sure that you get a good referral to a proper attorney that's going to do this.
That's Kevin Komar with Co-Advisors in Independence, Ohio, and this is Retirement News Online.